Hey guys, welcome to Batemi's Circuit Python and Circuit Playground Express lesson series. Today, I'm going to talk about libraries. They're also known as modules. As I mentioned before, your Circuit Playground Express comes with many built-in components. So the question is how to use them in your Python code. For example, how to turn on and off this built-in LED light called B13 LED in your code. Fortunately, the developer of Circuit Playground Express, Adafruit, did all the hard work of writing a bunch of difficult code that lets you control all the components on this board and publish them as a library. The CircuitPython interpreter that you downloaded and installed in the lesson 1 comes with a few libraries that you can use them in your code. This concept is called abstraction. The person, or in this case, the company that developed this board, also wrote a bunch of code that interfaces with the board so that you as a developer can focus on what to do with the device rather than trying to figure out how all these components works at the physical circuit level. One of the modules that we'll be using is called the board module. This module comes with Python names for all the components on this board and also comes with the methods. The methods are like action verb. You can tell something to turn off or turn on, or you can ask sensors to read values. But before we can use this board module, we must first import it into our code. Let's do that in our IDE and play with it. Let's start by connecting Circuit Playground Express to your computer. Let's launch our IDE, code.circuitpython.org. Let's connect to the Circuit Playground Express and open code.py. Let's start by deleting everything on code.py. The first thing that you need to type is import board. Remember, the board library is written by Adafruit, so you could bring into your code and use whatever is in there to control your Circuit Playground Express. Let's click on Save and Run. So the code is done running, but there's nothing printed on the screen. Well, that's because we just imported a bunch of code that describes Circuit Playground Express, but it doesn't do anything to control it. Next, let's type dir board. Dir stands for directory, and this dir function will show me the directory of everything that's in the board library. Let's see what happens if I run it. Okay, also nothing happened. It just completed and doesn't show anything on my screen. Well, that's because when Python executes this dir function, it gets some information from it, but since I'm not capturing what is coming back from this function call, it doesn't display anything. So what we can do is, after we make this function call, I could store that into a variable. So let's do that. Let's just say info is, so this is an assignment operation where Python is making this function call. Whatever information that's coming back, I'm going to store that into info. In Python, equal sign is not a mathematic equation symbol. It is simply a assignment operation where whatever happens on the right side, do it and store the result into a variable name on the left side. Let's save and run again. Again, nothing is printed on the console, and that is because I have not told Python to print that information, right? Remember the print statement? So on my next line, I could say print, parentheses, info. Whatever this information is, print it for me. Okay, let's save and run. Okay, now I'm getting something back. So here's the output. This is the directory of the board module. I see button A and button B. I see LED, that is the D13 red LED on the board. And I see slide underscore switch. Those are some of the components we'll be using starting the next lesson. All right, so let's actually look at this code again. Some of you will say, well, we could make this shorter. True. So we could technically combine these two lines together. Rather than doing it separately, I could simply get rid of this line and inside print, I could say dir and bore, and that will do the same. See? So that is one way of combining two lines of statement into a single line of statement where I'm going to be using a print function, but inside the print function, I'm calling another function, directory bore, so that it gets printed immediately rather than going through another step of saving that information into a variable called info and printing info inside the print. Well, that's all for today. Bye-bye.